Thank you so much, Chairman and members of the committee. We're about to embark on a very important initiative, and I thank you all for committing your time on this, because it is this opportunity where we have an opportunity to restore, in my opinion, some balance, faith, and trust in government through this process, where the voters of the state of Rhode Island will have that opportunity to have a final input and say on one of the greatest documents that we all have to abide by, and that's our state constitution. So the work that you're about to embark on is critically important, and I appreciate the opportunity to come here and testify today. With that, I just wanted to let you know that in March of this year, I came to the State House to outline my agenda for a lot of the government reforms that I would like to see as part of the Constitutional Convention. In my opinion, to succeed in achieving meaningful reform, we have to bring about fundamental changes in the way our state government operates, and that will require changes to our state constitution. That's why I'm coming here to urge to you to, support that Constitutional Convention process and consider some of the initiatives that I'm about to bring forward, because I truly believe that Rhode Island residents deserve and really need more transparency in their government and accountability in state government and a fairer balance of our power within our Constitution. The key to that coming balance of power is going to come from a level playing field, in my opinion, from more of the different interests and representative branches of government. We need more of a voice also in the people. So throughout this Constitutional Convention process, I would urge to bring about real reform that includes the restoration of the Ethics Commission over members of the General Assembly for their legislative acts. I truly feel this is important because as a mayor and as also a former legislator on the city council in Cranston, we were all, and even members of the boards and commissions that I've sat on and many other individuals throughout the state, that Ethics Commission oversight provides at least a level of safeguard that I think Rhode Islanders have that trust that there is someone watching over all members, all branches of government, and I feel that it's inappropriate that the General Assembly is not subject to it. And I get it. It's based upon that speech and debate clause, but I think we really come to the forefront where we need to have that changed, and the General Assembly shouldn't be excluded. Next, I would also urge for term limits among the General Assembly, because we see that in many cities and towns across the state, and also different parts. Our general officers have term limits. I feel that's critically important to always have new blood in government, new issues, new ideas being brought out by different people. So I think that's another important thing. To restore some balance to the governor's office, I think we all recognize that the governor's office, historically across the country is one of the weaker ones. It should have a line item veto to provide that appropriate checks where the governor administering the budget throughout the course of the year, if he feels that the General Assembly has overstepped their bounds in certain areas, instead of just wielding a general broad veto, should have that opportunity to, express his feelings or thoughts on certain budgetary items. I have that similar type of authority within the city of Cranston, and it works. It provides that level of oversight amongst that legislative branch and myself as mayor. And if I feel that there are some appropriations that they shouldn't have put into, I haven't been afraid to wield that line item veto. Next, I also feel strongly about voter initiative. There should be some type of process, and I think it has to be flushed out how it's going to work, but a voter initiative process so that the voices of the residents can be heard, so that it pushes more of a vote on some issues that might be topical to the day that otherwise might not get an opportunity to be voted on the floor level by all the members in both of the chambers. So these things, I think, restores a lot of that balance of power that I've been talking about. And one last thing that I would also push is, I think you might have heard me talk about it a few weeks ago, about judicial reform, making sure that the magistrates are also part of the entire process that we go through with the Judicial Nominating Commission, and making sure that that Judicial Nominating Judicial Nominating Commission has more members of the public that are fairly appointed, and I do feel that it should exclude lobbyists from that commission. So all of these, I believe, would restore a lot more faith, transparency in government that would help restore confidence to many of the individuals. You know, I think all Rhode Islanders have to come together to man a government that is fair, transparent, and most of all, accountable to the citizens. Because let's face it, we are all in public service doing the best we can for the residents, and having that confidence by the residents is critically important. So that's why, again, in conclusion, I'm urging all of you to consider these reform initiatives that I think will restore balance of power back into government, a more level playing field, but most importantly, send a message to Rhode Islanders that we are listening to them. That responsiveness is critically important for faith and trust. So I urge you to consider all these reforms, and I thank you again for your time, because this is a very important initiative for all of us. I'd also be happy to take any questions, too.
Thank you, Mayor Fung. Are there any questions? Yes.
Thank you, Governor Fung. We're in the State House. I guess it's the best place to say it for the first time. Of the 5 things that you mentioned, is that your pecking order? I mean, or is it?
And I added the 6 with the just. It's some yes. I think the top 3 I would love to see is definitely the Ethics Commission for the General Assembly members, because as staying as an outlier, it doesn't send that confidence message to not only the people of the state of Rhode Island, but also employers that are out there, business people outside the state looking out. You wonder what, going on. And, I don't want to dredge up some of the stuff that we've seen in the news, but that doesn't help. And if you can eliminate that, ethics and have some type of oversight, I think that's critically important. I really do feel passionate about term limits, too, because I think it's always good to have new blood. And lastly, the line item deal for the governor, that is critically important to get that balance of power. So if I had to rank them, those are in. Voter initiative is something, but also the magistrates and the JNC.
Thank you.
Thank you.